Minnesota Wild are in a little bit of an issue right now because we were promised by their owner that Quinn Hughes, the superstar, top of the line, number 2 or 3 best defenseman in the world, was gonna be signed soon. And guess what? It is now August, and there is nothing in paper, nothing in ink, nothing even close as maybe a promise that he's going to be around in Minnesota after this season, or maybe not even until the end of the season, maybe not even when the season starts. And it is very interesting. And other than that, Minnesota's also got a little bit of financial issue. So let's talk all about it. So currently, going into the season after this, right now the team's in lockdown mode, right? They have everything, they have all the pieces, they have a team that is very decent and can play on the ice right now and be very competitive, with some players who are even getting better and better, and Kirill Kaprizov headlining it, $17 million man, and he's now the best left winger according to EA Sports. But anyways, they have a great team right now, but things are about to get bad because $46 million is the current cap space going into next season after this, right? And with that money, that's a lot of change. But there's 8 roster spots that are currently going to be vacated with that free money, not including Jesper Wallstedt and Quinn Hughes, 2 pivotal parts of this team's just 2 pivotal parts of this team. Wallstedt is going to be a next upcoming Hart candidate year after year. He's only 23 years old. He's already incredible. And Quinn Hughes, obviously, I don't need to tell you his resume. And those guys, including 8 other roster spot players, that is going to eat all of that $46 million in cap space. And now, there's one side of the argument, or of this dilemma that's like, okay, how does all the money work, right? $46 million. Wallstedt's probably going to get around 8 to 10 million, I think. And then Quinn Hughes is going to, who knows what he gets, 18 to 20 is my guess. And that combined could be up to $30 million, right? For all I know, Wallstedt gets even more than 10 million. Maybe he is he's like the Vezina winner this year, right? Who knows? And he gets even more to like 11 or 12. We have no idea. But I'm going to guess probably 8 to 10 is more likely. And with their chunk of change out of the way, they'll be left with 16 to 19-ish million dollars in cap space left to fill 8 roster spots. And those roster spots aren't all just like guys like Bobby Brink and stuff at the bottom of the chain. That's Jared Spurgeon, who obviously isn't a crazy good defenseman, but he's a top two pairs defenseman. Ryan Hartman, who is right now their second best centerman, which is crazy. And so they need to fill these spots, and these guys either are going to get raises, or if they move on from them, they're going to get guys that are either cheap and not that good, or relatively the same level of talent and take up the same amount of space. So even if we wanted to be very conservative and say some of these guys, all of these guys, guys like Hartman, or the hole that they will fill Hartman's spot with, is going to get $4, $5, $6 million, right? So if we just evened it all out and averaged it out, and all those 8 guys got some are going to get like 5, some are going to get 900,000, right? If we all level it out to 2 million, that is $16 million there. And who knows, with all the inflation and stuff of the league, could be even more, like 3 million per player. That's $24 million right there off the books. They're in a cap crunch right now. Obviously, there's flexibility. They can trade guys. They can move on from a guy like Jared Spurgeon and take on a guy that's paid less and maybe can create more, find some good diamonds in the rough, which I don't think Bill Guerin's good at. I don't think he's a good GM. I don't know why he won GM of the Year. I actually pretty much hate him. I think he's not that good at all. But anyways... obviously, there's also other things they need to get down. I think Dylan Larkin, that's the place for him to land in as well. So that's going to take some money off the books or stuff as well. And all of this stuff, so it's already going to be a tight situation there. But here's the other side. Does Quinn Hughes even want to be a Minnesota Wild? Because after this year, he currently is nothing saying that he will be. And even if he does, it's going to be short term, I think, so he can play with his brother or brothers at some point somewhere else, which Jack is signed till 2031, I think. He's still signed for, I think, 4 more seasons. 31, 32, something like that. Maybe 29, 30, I don't know. Something like that. And so I think he signs like a short-term 3-year deal or something so they can line up and go somewhere together, and then Luke will follow at some point. Anyways, but does Quinn even want to stay in Mini, right? Because there's also, like, the Carolina Hurricanes just won the Stanley Cup. Could you imagine adding him to their roster for a couple of years and wait for Jack to sign somewhere else? That makes them extremely likely to win, like, the Cup at least one more time in the next coming year. They're so stacked. A team like Vegas, with Alex Petrangelo's numbers coming off the books, and some other guys like William Karlsson, Mark Stone also ending their contracts, maybe they take some reductions, and they currently do have some cap space available. Maybe they can make that happen. Well, obviously Vegas is in on everybody. I would not be surprised. I mean, they would be in on Quinn Hughes, right? I mean, maybe that's where Jack would want to go as well. Jack and Quinn going there. I could see that happening, which is scary. I hate that idea, but it could happen. Buffalo, just to throw in a name, like, talk about a team that is ready to go and has they have Rasmus Dahlin, so they have a number 1 defenseman, and Owen Power back there as well. So it doesn't really fit. But that's a team where if Quinn becomes available to be traded, I think they have a lot of guys that they can send out of town, and I don't think they'd be too upset with having too many amazing left-handed defensemen issue. I don't think they'd hate that for 1 second. So I just think, like, Buffalo's a team that I'd look out for, that I think would be in on bringing a guy like him in, even if it's just a rental. Also, Florida, I couldn't find their sticker for this board, but Florida, obviously in on everybody. They're starting to age a little bit with some of their players, maybe adding Quinn as, right now their number 1 left defenseman is gotta be, Forsling. I mean, they got Jones, they have Ekblad, they have Forsling. Like, they are a core, right? So if they could add a true number 1 D-man back there, that would be insane. And keep that longevity running of their current reign of the NHL. So, but the thing is, right, those are all possibilities I'm listing. But the thing is, does Quinn even want to be in Mini? I don't think he should want to be there. I really don't see a great positive, like, outlook for their, like, near future and their long-term future. They have, like, no young prospects. Like, this is their window right now. They're in it. I mean, obviously they have Faber and stuff that are, and Wallstedt. Like, their guys aren't old by any means. They have, like, a long window, but it's a window of not great enough. I really don't think. I don't think they have what it takes to go against the Avalanche, and the Avalanche are so stacked that I do think they only have, like, 2-3 years left that are, like, going to be prime years for them to win the Cup and be really competitive. But they're not, in that short term, I don't think Mini can get past the Avs. I think the Stars also have a ton of talent, ton of depth, ton of everything going for them. I don't think they really get past them, kind of like they currently are. And teams on the rise like Utah, teams on the rise like the Sharks, teams on that are amazing still like Edmonton and Vegas. I don't see them really being able to out-compete some of these other teams that they're going to run into, and I don't like the Wild's projections, right? Their number 1 centerman is Eriksson Ek, who's great, but that is a second-line staple right there. They don't have a true number 1 centerman, and if they add one, like Dylan Larkin, who I also don't think is a true number 1 centerman, I mean, obviously him and Kaprizov, like, that would be probably some insane skill, and they outscore every team to an extent. That would be, I think that is the right acquisition for the Wild, but that's going to take up more money for them to have less depth, and already with guys like having $17 million contracts like Kaprizov, I don't think adding another one in Quinn Hughes eating up that $18 million is what to do. I think a team like Carolina can figure that out, because they currently don't have an $18 million player, 17, 15, anything like that, right? All their guys are signed for less than 10. They don't go above that. They can fill that hole just at least for one spot, unlike other teams on this board, like Vegas. They get really tight with, obviously with Jack Eichel and Mitch Marner and they just have a ton of really good players. But then, of course, always New Jersey. Is that the landing spot as well? So for me, my summary here is I don't think Quinn Hughes really should stay in Minnesota. I don't think for him being a top defenseman of the NHL, a top 3 defenseman in this current era of the NHL, Minnesota is not the place to be. It is a place that is going to be a runner-up every single year to another amazing team, and he needs to get on one of those teams, right? And I think he should run himself out of town. But that is all I gotta say, and hopefully Bill Guerin, with all the hype that I believe, should recognize that soon enough and trade him for a full year. Trade him before the deadline, because if you send him out of town as a rental, you're going to get less return for that, and you already sent out Zeev Buium, which is a great piece that you could have built around for the future. But what do I know? I'm just a guy talking to a camera, so I don't really know. So thank you for watching this. Make sure you subscribe to get all the NHL content, all my coverage of hockey stuff, and that is it. So thank you, too sweet, have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.